live, which will be now.
Hey.
Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram fam, welcome to Monday night. This is going to be a little bit different tonight. I'll tell you in just a second. AC, what I was saying is if you want to share it to your Facebook page now that we're live,
you can right on it. Yes.
All right. Awesome. All right. So this is a little bit different than what we do every other night, except for Wednesday night. I've been posting about this. So it is Monday night gospel talk and tunes. So we will just talk a little bit because I've interviewed AC before, so we don't want to do an interview during this. But we're just talk and have a good time and listen to her and her sister play some wonderful music and sing. If y'all know them, sing along.
Absolutely.
Well, it'll be muted, so it'll be okay. Just so long as nobody hears me, because nobody wants to hear this girl singing. I promise you.
Oh.
But for those of you that may not know, this is AC Jones and her sister Brittany. Yeah. So I know, AC, you have been busy lately. You've had lots of Christmas stuff going on, right?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Things always pick up around the holiday season, which is so exciting. We love Christmas. We're big Christmas fans. So we love the holiday season, and we do try to do a lot of Christmas activities, Christmas shows, that sort of thing. Every year we host a Salvation Army benefits. This will be our 6th year. Unfortunately, we can't do it in person this year, but we're going to do a really special live stream on the 19th to try and keep that alive this year. And so we just did some filming for that yesterday. We do Winterfest in Cleveland. We did it at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year. They did it virtually. It was such a great experience, and we just hope that with every year we can do more Christmas events. We love the season. We love bringing in the season and bringing the true meaning of Christmas to everybody.
Yeah, I love the Christmas season as well, and especially this year, it's so important.
Yes,
it's been a tough year on everybody, and I just feel like this season is going to be. Still, it's going to be tough on people for various reasons, whether they've lost a loved one or someone's in the hospital or, just COVID has everything going. Anything that anybody can do to brighten the spirit, brighten people's moods around this time of year is just so important. And it's not a happy season for everybody. Unfortunately, there's so many people that have seasonal depression and, just the holidays are a sad time instead of a happy time. So, I'm glad to see that some Christmas songs have been put out by people remembering those people as well. So, there's a little bit for everyone around the holidays. And because we've kind of started this show during the holiday season, I don't know if you plan to sing any holiday songs tonight, but if you want to, that's great.
We can do that.
That would definitely be awesome. But I love gospel music. I, of course, grew up on gospel music, and just my memories, I stuck to the same. I never really drifted far away from what you picture in your head or what I picture in my head. I guess not everybody has the same picture. But when I picture church in my head, it's that little white church that has just, a few pews and grandpa sitting in there with his overalls on. I just grew up in a simple little white Baptist church and singing the old familiar hymns. And I know everything has gone contemporary. And a lot of people like the contemporary praise and worship music, and that's fine. That's all well and fine. To each their own. And I'm glad that there is, Christian music for everyone out there. But I just never switched gears into that. I'm still just give me the good old Southern gospel, and that is my favorite of favorites. But I do listen to all the others.
Yes, absolutely.
I branch out. I listen to, a variety, just like in my, country music taste. I branch out and listen to various artists. I do the same with gospel music. But what about y'all? What was your church like growing up?
Yeah, so we started out as kids. We were big fans of the Donut Repair Club.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
No.
Duncan and what was his name? Was his name Rob or Bob or some? Was it Rob? Rob, I think.
I think it was Rob.
But yeah, so they sang a bunch of children's songs that had to do with the Bible, and so we grew up on that.
Yeah.
And then we started going to church and everything, and we very much grew up in sort of the early 2000s CCM sort of movement. So we knew a lot of that music. We were involved in the praise and worship team. But I know that both of us, I hope it's okay for me to sing both of us. We very much do have a draw to the old hymns. I think at least for me, I think there's something just how traditional they are, and there's something solid about them. There's just something very comforting about the old hymns, and they're poetic, they're beautiful. So we enjoy those as well. And then we've also written a couple of different songs. We've been in Christian and gospel bands in our teenage years, and we wrote some music as well. So we had some original worship tunes that we worked on, and then obviously transitioned into doing country music. But we very much have our roots in this. So
I knew that about you. I knew that about you. That's why I wanted you on here. But yeah, I agree with what you said wholeheartedly. Something about the old hymns, there's just something solid in them. Yeah. And that just kind of draws you back. It's comfort. Because it takes me to my grandparents. It takes me to my grandparents, and for me, that's comfort. So yeah, that's what it does for me. So definitely, yeah, you said the 2000s, and that's when it started, going the contemporary route and crazy. Yeah, so I definitely get that side of it too. I'm giving away my age, saying, I'm like before that. So that's a little bit of a giveaway. But yeah, with my children, they've of course introduced me to all the others. So yeah, let y'all go ahead and just go for it. Take it away.
Well, starting out with talking about the hymns and whatnot, we're going to start out with the hymn. We have a little bit of everything kind of tonight. So
we've got
some more contemporary. We've got some originals. We've got a Christmas song. So it's going to be a little bit of everything for you.
Oh, that's awesome! Yeah.
But we'll start out with the traditional hymn here. This is "Come Thou Fount." It's one of my favorites.
Okay.
Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never ceasing, call for songs of loudest praise. Teach me some melodious sonnet, sung by flaming tongues above. Praise the mount I'm fixed upon it, mount of thy redeeming love. Here I raise my Ebenezer, hither by thy help I've come, and I hope by thy good pleasure safely to arrive at home. Jesus sought me when a stranger, wandering from the fall of God. He to rescue me from danger, interposed his precious blood. Oh, to grace how great a debtor daily I'm constrained to be. Let thy grace now, like a fetter, bind my wandering heart to thee. Prone to wander, Lord, I feel it, prone to leave the God I love. Here's my heart, Lord, take and seal it for thy courts above. Sing, come thou fount with me. Come thou fount of every blessing, tune my heart to sing thy grace. Streams of mercy never take and seal it for thy courts above.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you for having us on here. I really appreciate it. We love doing this, and
thank you
I
so
love
much.
having her here with me because this is very much a family thing for us, something that we grew up together with. So it's always great to do it together. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad that you invited your sister to be on and be with us. And
I'm glad she's happy to be here.
sorry, I
Thank you. Yeah, this is how we learn to sing. It's how we learn to sing harmony, so yeah, it takes us right back.
Definitely foundation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
More ways.
Now,
Yes. Yes.
who is the older sister?
That's me.
You're the older sister.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm with AC. I have an older sister. So I
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
But growing up being both singers, we joked around that one of us had to learn how to sing harmony. So we both learned how to harmonize very quickly. Because you can't sing the same part,
Never, no.
So
Exactly. And it's funny because we used to be like, no, you take the harmony, and now it's like
we're harmony hogs.
we're harmony hogs.
We fight for the harmony over the melody most of the time. It's kind of funny. Usually people fight for the melody, but we're like, no one's gonna sing that harmony.
So
That's funny. Oh, and now, okay. So obviously, I know AC plays the guitar and you play the piano. Do y'all flip as well? Do you both play the guitar and the piano, or?
I don't do the guitar. I've tried. It's still on my bucket list, like my lifetime bucket list. Maybe someday.
I play enough to just get through writing something on the piano. Like I know where all the chords are. I can kind of make it through, but I'm not a piano player, So.
Oh, so that's cool that each of you kind of did one thing. Each did one thing. That's my daughter. I have 3 granddaughters, and well, I have more than that, but this daughter has 3 daughters, and she has each one of them playing something different. One is doing the piano, one is doing the guitar, and the other.
It's the way you got to do it.
Yeah. And she actually has a number 4 coming along. So my son-in-law is definitely hoping for a boy this time, I think. But hey, even so, he can join in. She's got enough for a band going on.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Sure. You can tell that we're sisters, right?
You answer for each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's so great that Rebecca has the girls learning an instrument and each one is doing their own thing and they're really loving it. And I'm glad because I never had the girls playing, instruments. I didn't get them in piano or anything like that. Honestly, they were such tomboys. I just immediately put them into sports.
Right. Yeah.
And which now my granddaughters they all do sports as well. But I'm glad Rebecca thought to put them in music and get them involved in that. So, but yeah, I think she incorporates that into their day because she homeschools them. And then so music. Yeah. Oh, you do that as well.
Yeah, I've got 4. Yeah.
Oh, you have and you homeschool them.
Yes. Yeah. The youngest is just over a year old, like 1.5, and then our oldest is 9. So. Yeah.
Okay. Is the oldest one the one that Castle is written about?
No, that's the second. The oldest daughter, second child, and she's 7.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, so did you decide from the start that you wanted to homeschool them, or was that something that came along this year?
They've never been to public school, so we started that way. When our first was born, it was kind of like an idea that I had entertained, and there were a number of reasons, but eventually then when we had our second, and she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and it just kind of it was one of those things where I couldn't really let go, and I still can't really let go of being caretaker during the day and in trusting other people with that care. And there's so many people who do it and do it well, and that's not a knock at anybody in the school system or anything like that.
Oh, no, I completely understand.
I'm very type A, and so that kind of was the final factor. There's other reasons as well.
Oh,
But
yeah.
Well, I know
certainly
too with
beginning.
celiac and everything too.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of factors that go into that
Yeah.
that make
Yeah.
it more freeing, I think, for you. With
Well,
homeschool,
and then we can
honestly.
travel. Not now,
Yeah.
but we can. But when we can travel again, it really created flexibility, and we school a lot on the road. So
yeah, that is what my daughter has said as well. And I actually had her on to do a show about homeschooling. And because I guess she started it. This is her second or third year. I'm sorry, I can't think right now which year it is. But she absolutely loves it. She actually has a degree in early education.
Oh, great.
And she was a teacher's assistant. And so she worked at the same school where the girls went.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to say it. Oh, well. But that was a leading factor in her deciding to homeschool because she was in the school system. And in the school system, and she knew she couldn't change the things that she didn't, so much like. So she just decided to homeschool, and it worked out the best for her and the best for the girls. And I mean, they really have just thrived from homeschooling. So I think it's just whether it fits your household or not.
Exactly. And wherever the kids are thriving best, and that's what's best for them. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. I love it. Well, I'm glad to know another homeschool mama that has the patience to do it. Y'all have my utmost.
She's a saint, my goodness.
I know that's what I say about my daughter. There's no way I could do it. There's no way my daughter gets like the sainthood award for mother. Yeah, there's no way. I would God knows I would go crazy. He'd be homeschool mama. Oh, all right. What are we going to hear next?
So this is one of my personal favorites. It's called "The More I Seek You," and it's just, I don't know. I just think the song paints such a beautiful picture of being in the presence of Jesus, and that's why I love it so much. And it's such a simple song. There's really only a few words, and it's really easy to catch on. So if you do, sing along. But I think the words are just so profound, and if you just close your eyes and sing along and hear these words, I just feel like you can lean back and just be in his arms. And that's what I love so much about it. So.
All right.
The more I seek you, the more I find you. The more I find you, the more I love you. I wanna sit at your feet, drink from the cup in your hand, lay back against you and breathe, feel your heartbeat. This love is so deep, it's more than I can stand. I melt in your peace, it's overwhelming. The more I seek you, the more I seek you, the more I find you. The more I find you, more I find you, the more I find you, the more I love you.
That is so beautiful.
Thank you so much. Carrie Job, correct? That's a Carrie Job song, yeah. The words in the beginning are just so simple. The more I seek you, the more I find you, the more I find you, the more I love you. But I can't even think of a truer statement than that.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
He does. The more you seek, the more he will reveal himself. And it's been true time and time again throughout my life and throughout everything I've been through. And so I guess if I have anything to say to anybody out there who's going through anything, just keep seeking, because the more focused you are on him, things in your life will happen that you just can't even imagine. So it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't make me cry.
So, you keep your focus the focus, and everything else, everything else is just his. So,
yeah, absolutely. If y'all don't mind me asking, I'm sure you probably.
No, please.
Do you remember when you did find him, or was it like always there?
You want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
I know some people have.
Okay.
I feel like some people have that aha moment, and they
always kind of
like,
yeah.
For as long as I can remember, it's been there. So
yeah. So my testimony, my parents were youth leaders, or our parents were youth leaders for 10 years. And that happened when we were in sort of our teenage years, so to speak, in my preteen years. And in our household, there was always faith. But it wasn't until later in life that we really started going to church and we started getting involved in that. And I just remember, I don't know, I think I was about 10 years old or so. And I just remember feeling an overwhelming sense of anxiety, and I couldn't understand why. And, I remember one night I was talking to my mom about it, and she goes, do you want to ask Jesus into your heart? I said, you know what? Yeah, I think so. Because I knew all about Jesus and everything, but I thought, maybe that's what I need. And so I said the prayer with her, and immediately, I felt this weight lifted from me. But what's crazy about that is I spent a lot of my life looking at 10-year-old me, wondering, sorry, wondering how genuine a 10-year-old could be in accepting something like that. And so for a lot of my life, I think I felt kind of confused, because people come up and give their testimony about how they went through all of this in their life, and it was so hard, and it was so crazy, and they came to Jesus and everything just came to light. And I was like, I don't have that story. I don't have a story of pain and heartache and struggle before I came to Jesus. It was just the natural progression of living in an already Christian family. And so I'm like, what does that mean? Does that mean anything? But what I learned the hard way was that sometimes your testimony comes a lot later in life, and after you've accepted Christ as your Savior. And so I went through, we both went through a lot of hard times in church. We went through a lot of hard times with people that we trusted and loved and cared about. And that happens with everybody. But if there's one thing that I learned, and that my parents always instilled in me, was that put your faith in the man, not a man. And I think my testimony has a lot to do with, no matter what I went through in my life, I was always reminded that God is perfect. He is sovereign. He's all-knowing and all-loving. And people can fail, and that's okay. But if you keep your eyes on him and him alone, that's what matters. And so I think my testimony is through all that I still kept my eyes on him. And I have my parents to thank for that. I have spiritual mentors to thank for that. I have friends to thank for that. And I have God to thank for that. And that is my testimony and my aha moment.
Well, we have the same. We consider ourselves to have the same, spiritual birthday, so to speak.
Because, January 12th.
Yeah, January 12th. We both, prayed the sinner's prayer. So I would have been 13 then. And much like AC, it was the natural progression. There was, going from children's church then to adult church, and every Sunday they would do the altar call, and it was like I was feeling this stirring, like do I already believe? Did I already accept him?
Yeah.
And, you know, I heard someone once say too, that if you feel that way, then even before you're taking the step, like you do, you know, before it's the intention of your heart. But I never could, I wasn't sure, you know, so it was that January 12th that I was like, you know what, we're gonna do this. We're gonna put an altar here. This is the day that I'm going to say it out loud in that way. But much like AC, you know, the testimony came after, you know, and that it was disillusioned a lot going into adulthood at, first of all, just that, you know, when you're young, you see things so black and white, you know, and there's just things that where you have believers who believe the same core values and then but believe different things apart from that, and it's so very different and even can be hurtful to one another as well, and figuring out that balance and you know, understanding that that you can be hurt by other believers, and whether it's intentional or not, you know, that was just a really big awakening, you know, for me, and that someone who believes can think what they're doing is so right, and you can feel like what you're doing is so right, but they just butt heads, and so that was part of it, and then the other part was just coming to the realization that just because you do things the way you're supposed to, it doesn't. I feel like there was a lot of ministry to teenagers in popular Christian culture, that is, of a rewards-based faith, in that, you know, do what you're supposed to and the outcome will be favorable for you. So I did what I was supposed to, but the outcome didn't necessarily reflect what I envisioned would be from doing the right thing. And you know, just coming to the realization that, you know, I feel like a lot of times, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm rambling. No. I was here in comfort and support. Yeah, and just accepting that just doing the right thing, our reward is not here on earth.
Yes.
It's in heaven.
Right.
And it's a hard pill to swallow, to realize that what you do in this life doesn't necessarily reap the benefits and rewards of what you think it should in this life, and reconciling that with my faith, and still looking at the man as being the focus, and the promise of heaven and eternity with him, and that we don't live in a perfect world. So even if you do what you're supposed to, you know, you're not responsible for everyone else's choices and how those choices and consequences affect you.
And you know, we've discussed too, I know, and we've talked extensively about this before too. It's the realization of when you've been hurt in that way as well. There's a realization that comes over you too, to realize that, as we've said, there's a quote that says, you're the villain in somebody else's story too. And sort of the humbling experience to realize that something that I may have been doing in my life that I thought was so right at the time came off in an awful way. And that's humbling. That's a wake-up call. And I think for us, it just it makes us at least try. Still not perfect human beings, you know, but like, you know, it's the hope that realization and those things that have happened to our lives will try to encourage us to look at things and say, this may be my intent, this may be the intent, but is it coming off that way? You know, am I approaching this with love? Am I approaching this with grace? And that is such a hard balance to find, and the Lord is teaching us every day. So, you know, and I thank the Lord that He loves works in progress. So, Amen to that.
For real. I think we can all say that one. Because honestly, seriously, we are all works in progress. Every single one of us are works in progress. There is no one perfect. And if anybody claims to be perfect, well, they're just wrong.
Right, exactly.
And I think we find as believers in the imperfections in each other as well, and in that realization. I think that's something it's something that can tear us apart, but I think it's something that can also really bring us together is that realization and that just support of each other in our imperfection.
Exactly.
Transparency, being humble and open to correction, all things, that are important.
And being kind during it all.
Yes. Extending the same grace we receive. We receive the grace and we need to freely give the grace as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, exactly. It just, and I can remember as a child, I think we all do when we were little, we're never going to be our parents. We're never going to be our parents. I can remember the day, almost like it was yesterday, that I made a statement and I said, "Oh my God, I'm my mom." And I said to someone, my mom has this saying, the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Did I really just say that? That's my mom.
It's a good one though.
Right?
It kind of wraps everything up.
Exactly. But it's so true and it's so simple. Just treat other people the way that you want to be treated. And I can't imagine that anyone on this earth wants to be treated like crap.
Right.
So why would you treat someone that way? And it's always been a hard concept for me to grasp that, because I don't ever want to hurt anybody's feelings, or not. I don't ever want to intentionally be mean to someone. And so I just don't get that if people can't grasp just to be kind to someone, and especially this year, it's so prevalent and we're seeing so much of it on TV, in the news, online, wherever we go, there just seems to be so much hate and anger being spewed. And that's another reason I wanted to do this show. I wanted to put something out that wasn't hate or anger, and there's no way that it could be twisted into that.
Right.
There's nothing but goodness.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So I don't know. So with that, let's have another one.
Yeah. Do you want to hear a little bit of Christmas music here?
Yeah.
Okay. So this I recently released a Christmas album, and the day after Thanksgiving, and this song is "A Little Town of Bethlehem." It's on the album. But "A Little Town of Bethlehem," I remember when I was a kid, I used to have these little sound books where you could look through and they'd have the lyrics, and then you press the little button on the side and it played the tune. And I remember I had a Christmas one, and I always loved "A Little Town of Bethlehem," and I always play it and everything and listen to it. And so that's when I first heard this song. And I decided, when I was kind of getting some Christmas music together, it was actually in October. I was coming back from the hospital. I was visiting someone in the hospital, and I was actually driving back. And I'm like, "A Little Town of Bethlehem. How about what if I change the time signature?" And then I was like, let's add a chorus or something. And so I just started singing a chorus, a hallelujah type chorus. And I was like, yeah, that could work. So I kind of threw this together in that random drive and came up with this version of "A Little Town of Bethlehem." And then, I kind of wanted to make it relevant to our faith and hope in Jesus and what "O Little Town of Bethlehem" and what happened in Bethlehem means for us. And so the third verse in here, I actually wrote it and added it as an extra verse, just to kind of tie everything together. So
awesome. Yeah.
Still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, and in thy dark streets shine Christ was born of Mary and gathered all above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wondering love. All morning stars together proclaim the holy birth, and praises be to God the King, and peace to men on earth. Sing hallelujah. Hallelujah, the light of the world is born. Sing hallelujah, hallelujah, oh blessed, blessed Lord. And when this whole world fades to gray, my faith will ever stand, because my hope, my life, my love are founded in one man, who died for my transgressions I never can repay, and now forever will I live because of Christmas Day. Sing hallelujah, hallelujah, the light of the world is born. Sing hallelujah, hallelujah, oh blessed, blessed Lord, oh blessed, blessed joy to the world.
I loved
Thank
it.
you so much.
I loved
Thank
it. Yeah, I love that. Oh, I love Christmas music.
Big fans.
Yeah, and I mean, I love the fun Christmas songs as well, but there's just something about
Yes.
those Christmas songs that you would like you just did right there that just I don't know, it just gets you right here. I mean, it makes you I mean, you know, Christmas is fun, and we'll talk about the fun part of Christmas in a minute, but you know, it's so important for people to remember the real reason for the season. And it's songs like those right there that just if you forgot for a moment in the midst of your shopping or whatever, you know, it will bring you right back.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it so much. That was beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I mean,
I love the way that a lot of Christmas music too. One of the things like "Away in a Manger," "What Child Is This," and everything. I love how they humanize Christ, because I think so often we just sort of put him in this bubble of being, you know, obviously all sovereign, all God, all knowing, you know, everything, but we forget the human side of him.
Right.
And we put him in that bubble and we say like, oh, he never experienced what we experienced, but oh my gosh, he experienced everything that we experienced. And I don't know, it's a shuddering thought for me when I think of Christ as a child, when I think of him as a baby. And, you know, one of the things I always think about is just, you know, growing up as a child, like, when did he know? Did he always know? Like, I don't know. It's a thought that keeps me awake at night, you know? You just wonder, you know? I don't know. It's just, you know, the same child who maybe fell and scraped his knee and shed his blood would be the one who would shed his blood for all of us. And it just, I don't know. I can't think of anything else other than that sometimes. So
that,
you know?
That's a mega thought. That's huge.
Like, so there's existential thoughts that I don't cope well with.
You're like laying there like this at
I
night.
do. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, just, you know, don't have symbol thoughts at night. I mean,
symbol thoughts,
think the biggest one possible.
Normal stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you know, don't think about
now y'all know. But
yeah, but no, seriously, on that same token, as much as you think about that, or I think about that, I think about Mary.
Oh my gosh, right?
And I mean, I have children. Forgive me, Lord. I can't imagine giving my child away.
Yeah.
I can't imagine knowing the only reason I'm having this child is to give this child up.
Yeah.
That is beyond imaginable for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're supposed to be able to understand that.
Yeah.
I can't. Like
exactly. One of those great mysteries that will always leave us in awe of God and who He is and what He does. And
yeah,
I have no answer or no words for any of that, you know?
Yeah, I know. We've just like brought up two things that are just like
So everyone on the live stream now that everyone's gonna have these
about.
to go to
Some
sleep
light
tonight.
content.
I know, right? Yeah, just some light treat content for Monday.
Yeah. Let's hope that we didn't have a viewer that we lost because we went.
Oh my goodness.
I should maybe put a warning up from now.
Deep content ahead.
Deep content could be had. Oh goodness. I love it though. I do love it. And I knew it's like, and I was so glad that you told me yes when I reached out to you because
thank you. Thank you for reaching out.
I knew that you were who I wanted to be on as my first guest. Because I knew when I had you on before, and you know I love your music. As I followed you, I learned this side of you. And it didn't take long for it to be evident. So you show that in your life. And you know, I mean, that goes without saying, that's a good thing when someone else can see that light in you. And I definitely saw that light in you. And that's why I wanted you here, and for it just to work out that you were, you know, my first guest. I love it. It couldn't have gone better. And I'm glad the devil did not win today.
Yes, amen. Oh.
Yeah, he tried. I took a nap a while ago to like, you know, fend him off. And even when I woke up, he was like, no, because he tried not to wake me up. Because I literally slept through my alarm. True story.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
True story. Slept through my alarm. And I had my alarm set at like 5:15.
Yeah. And
my son came in at 5:30. And when he came in from work at 5:30 is when I woke up.
Oh, wow. No.
So, yep.
Not going today.
Right.
Not going
right.
today. Not going to do that.
Didn't work today. Not today. Try again. You're not going to succeed today, mister.
Yep.
So, yeah. All right. I know. I've lost track of how many songs. Have you done 3 or?
3. I've done 3.
Okay. Were you planning 4 or 5?
We could do either. I think we have 5 4.
I have this one, and then we can do the other one too.
Oh yeah, I mean 4 or 5 really. Whatever time allows, we can do whatever. We're ready for anything.
Hey, it's my show. I can take as much time as I want. No guidelines. Yeah, if you want to go ahead and sing another one, and then we'll talk about some fun Christmas stuff, and then we'll let you close it out with the final one.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We're gonna do an oldie here. This is an original song. This was when baby writer AC started writing some worshipy type gospel music. So this is 8 years old, actually, this song. But this is called Never Be Alone. And it was a song that was on one of my very first sort of country albums, a long time ago. But I kind of got the inspiration for this. I was a big fan of Sugarland and Jennifer Nettles. And I noticed that on a lot of on Sugarland's albums, they always finished out with a song that was something that was inspiration, or, you know, something to remind you that you weren't alone in this world. And I was like, you know, I love that concept. And so when I was writing for my very first album, I wanted to write a song like that, you know, that kind of feeling, to just send people out with a message of hope and love and everything. So this song came from that, and it's called Never Be Alone.
I like that.
Thank you. When you're tired of pressing on and you're waiting I will hold you through the dark, and I will always come to find you when you call. Come to me when you cry in the dead of the night, and I'll be there when this world don't treat you right. Well, I can promise you the greatest love you'll know, 'cause you'll never be alone. When your hope is lost in a battle chain and you're giving up, you're giving in each day you live, 'cause a bit in your soul and you wanna get back what it's stole. Hit your knees and lift your head. Take my cup and break this thread. Well, child, I tore the veil and took the nail for you. Fall asleep in my arms, I will hold you through the dark, and I will always come to find you when you call. Oh, come to me when you cry in the dead of the night, and I'll be there when this world don't treat you right. Well, I can promise you the greatest love you'll know. Well, I can promise you the greatest love you'll know, 'cause you'll never be alone. No, you'll never be ever alone.
Just beautiful,
Oh, thank you so much.
beautiful,
Thank
beautiful.
you.
So many comments about that song too.
Hi, everybody. I'm over here. Oh, thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I think that one is definitely a
Oh,
favorite.
cool. Always good to know.
It aged well.
Now, several people commenting about that one.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that whole concept though that you said that like ending the album with something, with a song like that.
Yeah.
I love that. To end it with a positive message.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Well,
Is that
yes, it's just I just
Yeah.
always loved it. I thought it was so beautiful. So
yeah. Now is that a concept that you're continuing with?
I would like to.
Yeah.
So I've only been releasing singles as of late. We kind of did it actually on the Campfire
I was
Sessions.
gonna say,
though.
Campfire
We did it on
had it,
the
yeah.
Campfire Sessions EP. We actually kind of did that with the Sinner's Hymn. It was very much in that similar vein of being very heartfelt, very emotionally expressive in not feeling alone in certain struggles and certain things that you face in life. So I would like to keep that concept going.
Yeah. I like that. I
Yeah.
really do like that a lot. And I think that's
You know?
that's a great way for you to be able to weave that in there
Mm-hmm.
and keep that side of you, you know, on the countryside. But that's what I love about country music is
Oh, me
you can
too.
bring gospel music into
Yes.
it, and it's so okay.
Yeah.
Who cares if it wasn't okay? But I
Yeah.
mean, that's the great thing about it. It is okay, and it's so welcomed.
Yes.
And it's like the two just are synonymous. They just go together.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
mean, when you say country and you say gospel, they fit.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
It works. And that's why I just love country artists that sing gospel music. And, you know, it doesn't have to be like, you know, the old hymns per se that I love. As long as it's a country artist that's singing gospel music, then it works for me. So, yeah, I love it. I love the two. And that's what my Spotify consists mostly of.
Yeah.
And, you know, with a whole bunch of other stuff mixed in there. If you were to look at my Spotify list, it would be crazy.
Oh, I feel you on that one. It's like
Yeah. Mine ranges
from this to this. Like, what is going on here? I don't know. I'm holding
Yeah.
it this way. I should be holding it this way. Actually,
Show
tunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, mine is really like I will go all the way from gospel to Ozzy Osbourne and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, you can't
Yeah,
be,
punk music. Yeah.
you can't be more opposite. I mean, forget, I'm not saying Ozzy's not Christian. They very well may be, but in his earlier days, his persona did not give off that effect, but I mean, I love his music. He's a great singer. You can't help but love him. And so yeah, everything and anything in between. I just love music. Yeah, God knew what he was doing by not giving me a voice though, because there's no telling. Yeah, I would have, honestly, as a teenager or a 20s something, if I had had a voice, I probably would have gone down the wrong path. I would have been in trouble. Just because I didn't have a mother. I love my mother dearly, but she just wasn't very parental. So, I mean, I could pretty much do whatever I wanted to do. So, yeah, you can imagine if I'd have had that kind of talent, I might not have ended up so well. So, yeah, I don't question him. He knows what he's doing. He knew not to give me that kind of talent. They gave me the gift of gab so I could do this.
There you go. Oh, okay.
So what are some of y'all's favorite Christmas traditions?
I'll let you start with it. I'll let you start with this one.
Well, so first of all, just starting early. At least for me. I'm like one of those
you can't see it. I have a tree over here. It's not decorated, but it's up. So.
Like the day after Halloween, let's do it. Let's put out the decorations. And Halloween's over. I take a 3-day break for Thanksgiving, and then I'm back into
out of respect for her husband.
Yeah, that was it. So his favorite holiday is Halloween, and mine is Christmas. So I told him, I said, if we can set up start doing the Christmas decorations November 1st, I will give you September and October for Halloween. And I get November and December for Christmas. So September 1st, he starts putting up his Halloween decorations, putting the fake cobwebs all over everywhere and, the big Halloween stuff. And then November 1st, we switch it up.
And then everyone takes a gap for Thanksgiving.
So we take a pause, a little moratorium. Yeah. But, and Christmas Eve is always my favorite. It holds a lot of memories of childhood and just, magic, which, as an adult, you look back and you realize that magic was just people who loved you a lot, creating that for you. And, and just the anticipation and, so that's always special, and I'm not sure if you want to talk about because Christmas Eve is just kind of like a big deal in our family.
We're Christmas Eve people more so than Christmas
people.
It's weird.
Yeah, because it started as we were young.
Yeah.
That was and even our mom, that was their big day for her growing up, Christmas Eve, big party kind of a thing, and that kind of carried on, for us as well. And there was a period of time where, our house was just kind of anybody who doesn't have anywhere to go or any family to celebrate with, come back with us. We'll have Christmas Eve dinner.
Yep.
Played games, rock band back then.
Oh my God.
Guitar Hero, that kind of stuff. We play it till 2 or 3 in the morning.
And people just be there.
Also
be packed with people you knew, people you didn't know, It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And,
that sounds so fun.
Yeah.
So of course singing was involved, I guess, with the Guitar Hero and all that.
Yeah. And we eventually played,
real
around the real stuff. Yeah, we played real instruments too. But,
real instruments played.
But Christmas Eve, and we always do PJs.
Yeah, we did the
Christmas
PJ thing. We did the PJ thing before it was popular,
Yeah, because now it is a thing to do. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. And then Christmas, rather than we don't do Christmas dinner, we do Christmas brunch. So and now we do it at your house.
Right. Yeah. So we come over here with her Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And celebrate that way, and then they come over our house Christmas morning.
Yeah.
Because
there's kids.
So the kids it's easier with the kids.
Yeah,
they get to stay in their mound of
Oh,
toys
yeah.
and things, you know.
French toast.
But French
toast.
Call it French
Oh,
toast.
it's like a bread loaf that's like this big.
It's
Ooh.
lots of bread.
It's like a small child.
It really is. Yeah.
I want to be at your house Christmas morning.
Yeah.
And omelets.
And
Dad makes
Yeah.
omelets.
Yeah.
So Dad makes omelets, Mom makes French toast,
Mhm.
and we reap all the benefits.
Toasted.
Do Christmas
Oh,
meal
yes.
So thanks, Mom and Dad.
Where Mom and Dad cook it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. French
Yeah.
toast and omelets. I'm
Yeah.
there.
I can
Oh,
make
yeah.
a mean pot of coffee though.
Hey,
So
that is a
the
very
important stuff.
important part
It's the
of
important
Christmas
stuff,
morning,
yeah.
though. You know,
That
you need
is.
that. You need that on Christmas
Yeah.
morning.
late night, early morning, you need the coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I can remember when we were little, we would always go to my grandmother's house. To me, Christmas was at grandmother's. And we had to travel, of course, to get there, but it's fine by me. But my uncle, he wanted to give us a hard time every year. And it was because we knew we weren't allowed downstairs until everybody was up and we were all ready to go down.
Yep.
So here, me and my sister would be waiting at the top of the steps, just ready for like,
Nope.
come on, let's go, let's go.
It's always so frustrating when you're a kid. You're just like, wake up, everybody.
Oh, I know. But then it was so much fun paying my kids back later, doing it to them. I tortured them as well. But my uncle would always be like, oh, okay, we're ready. No, let me get a cup of coffee.
Oh, no.
And then he'd be like, okay, we're ready. Well, no. And then he'd come up with something else. And like he would keep stalling. And we're like, oh. So I thought I was going to forever hate coffee because of that. But no, I ended up doing my kids the same way because I am a coffee drinker. I have to have give me my coffee in the morning. Don't talk to me until I have my coffee. It's a must. So I would Christmas morning, this is bad. Land of cell phone, time of cell phones. Before the kids had cell phones, long before, typically I would just wake up before they would. I'd set the alarm before I knew they would wake up. But once they were old enough to have, the oldest had a cell phone. That was the one that was in charge. Okay, as soon as y'all are awake, you call me, you text me, let me know y'all are awake so I can go get my coffee and be ready before y'all come out of the bedrooms. So you can count on it, by 6 a.m., I'd get a text.
Yep.
We're ready.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Christmas morning.
I'm like, oh, let me have my coffee first. But, and now that all of my kids are grown and my youngest is 18. So now it's like, I miss that. I'm like, that's what Christmas became for when it was no longer fun for me because I was too old. Then it was kind of like a lull period before, I had my kids. And then, of course, it was all about them.
Yeah.
When now they're grown, I'm like, I need my grandbabies here. So they want to be at their house. So they have, all their stuff. So we have just make our rounds. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just all about family. Christmas is just all about family. And that's what it is to me anyway, I don't care where we get together at, as long as we're together and I can see my, grandbabies, see what Santa brought them and all that good stuff. That's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
But I am not a shopper.
Brings magic back,
Yeah.
Do y'all like shopping? Because I'm not a shopper.
I like shopping for people. I don't like shopping in general, but I like going gift shopping for people. So that's always fun.
Yeah. I do like shopping. However, when it comes to Christmas shopping, I do usually prefer online. We did the whole early on in my marriage, we did the whole Black Friday.
We had one day where we did the all-nighter.
Yeah,
we did
fun.
More so just for fun, not to really do anything. It was just to kind of
But then once we had the kids, it was kind of well, it was just easier the day after Thanksgiving to sit on the rocking chair and just, put them all in the cart and go for it. And we usually, in non-COVID days, though, we usually have one day where my husband and I will go out like 4 or 5 days before Christmas and just kind of do the last minute, like, stocking stuffer, like what little things can we grab to kind of just add to it, kind of a thing. But other than that, I've been converted to online.
My shopping is more of just like, get the cup of coffee and just like, okay,
yeah.
So
she's not a shop.
I'm there for the coffee.
You bribe her with coffee when she needs to go shopping.
You gotta go shopping. Come on, coffee.
Go get your coffee.
Involved.
So, but Christmas shopping's different,
right? Yes, exactly.
I've got nieces and nephews, so that's so fun.
Yeah.
And I love shopping, but I also like making gifts for them too. So I have fun doing that, and so that's always a fun aspect of it as well.
Yeah, I wish I was crafty to be able to make stuff and do stuff. Yeah. My mom used to do that stuff, and I loved it because she's that crafty type of person, and she loves doing that kind of stuff. I'm really not crafty, but I'm like you, Brittany. I nailed the Amazon shopping.
Right? I know. It's like
I did every bit of my shopping last year on Amazon, except for, like you said, the stocking stuffers, the last minute.
Right. Yeah.
Did every bit of it on Amazon last year, and I could not believe how not stressed I was.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Yes, it was so stress-free. I'm sure that the FedEx guy hated me.
Right.
But okay, he got over it.
Yes.
Yeah, because I had lots of different packages delivered on.
Right. Yeah.
Put it all on the
You left out snacks.
I did. I left out snacks for our delivery guys. Muffins and stuff for them. Yeah.
It's busy. It gets busy for them during the holidays.
It does. It's kind of comical, actually. How many packages wind up there. It's funny because it's kind of the joke in our neighborhood Facebook group, and my neighbors. I'm like, oh yeah, sorry, it was Prime Day, and they're like, yeah, we could tell.
When you got COVID, and you got 4 kids, and it's hard to get them all out there,
Yeah, so
necessities.
Absolutely.
I wonder though, like this year with COVID, are like your delivery guys, are they going to be weary of taking, goodies left out for them?
Right. Yeah. And that was something, and I'm actually behind. Ironically, this is the year that I'm behind on everything. Like, I didn't start putting up my Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving this year. My husband took care of the outside though, after Halloween. So, but that's nice because it's warmer then too. But I was so behind, and I still have to set out my goodies. And that's what I was wondering too. I thought maybe if I put like a little hand sanitizer,
there you go,
out by the goodies too, maybe, at least it's there if they want it. I suppose.
Yeah, well, I feel like if they know you, if they're ones that have come there multiple times, and they know you, then they'll be good. Yeah. But yeah, because I love that you like leave stuff for the delivery people this time of year. A lot of people don't think to do that, or they don't think about, their mail carriers or their delivery people, the people that are out in crazy weather, no matter what it is. And they're, fending their way through dogs or whatever,
right.
To get your packages to us because we don't want to go out shopping.
Right, exactly.
So, I appreciate them so much.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so much. So, all right, just a few fun questions.
Okay.
All right, are you colored lights or clear lights?
It depends. Okay, so okay.
These are
questions. In my mind, my aesthetic is clear lights. But growing up, the tree in our family room was always an old-fashioned tree. So it was always these giant lights that would burn down the tree, like fire hazard all the way.
Yeah, the big fire.
I remember I was a
great
young
big,
child.
like, outdoor lights.
Oh, like you can't even touch them. You know,
burn your finger.
And I remember being a young kid, and my dad, he came back with these LED lights, and he's like, "We're gonna put these on the tree so it doesn't burn." And I was like, "No!" It's like, I want the big old bulbs, because we'd use like the cool little spinners that heat up, and then they start spinning on the tree and everything. So we'd use all the old-fashioned ornaments and the tinsel, which just makes a mess. But it's so the aesthetic of it, though, is just so old-fashioned Christmas, and those were all multicolored lights, the real big bulbs. So a little bit of both. Yeah. I choose both.
You're the kind of person that needs 2 trees.
Right.
Or like a little Charlie Brown tree, and like
Right.
it's like, here's the pretty, like very aesthetically pleasing tree.
Yeah.
And here's all the crafted ornaments.
Because pre-children, I had my tree with clear lights and clear ornaments, red ornaments. I forget what my color scheme was, but whatever, like all clear and red or something. I don't know, whatever it was.
Yeah.
Red, gold, and clear, I think is what it was. And it was so pretty. Well, and then my kids had to go to kindergarten and start making stuff.
Popsicle stick reindeer, you know?
And that just wasn't going to look good on my,
Right.
tree. So I had to give that up and go with the traditional tree.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've had both, but I do like, now that my kids are grown,
Right.
and I have gone back to the aesthetically pleasing one.
Yes.
Can't help it, but yeah.
Yeah.
So I like the clear lights, but I totally get what you're saying about the colored lights being like
So
traditional.
vintage.
Yeah.
Like, it feels very A Christmas Story. Like,
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It really does. I like that. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, favorite Christmas cookie.
You want to go first?
Candy Kiss.
Oh.
The peanut butter blossom.
Ooh. That might be mine, but I also like things with ginger and like spice cookie type things. Oh, it's a hard choice. I'm so bad.
She's so indecisive.
I am so indecisive. Like,
I'm sensing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my new one is, it used to be Snickerdoodle, but now it's pumpkin.
Oh yeah.
I had some store-bought, mind you, store-bought cookie mix, and then I had to put it in the oven. But I slaved over those cookies. But Pillsbury pumpkin with cream cheese chips.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh,
that sounds good.
I'm telling you, it tasted exactly like pumpkin pie.
Oh my goodness.
It was it tastes like so it was crispy. Oh.
I'm gonna need some cookies after this.
Yes. Now I would imagine you could get them at Walmart or the grocery store or wherever. I think it was Pillsbury that made them, but I got it at Sam's.
Yeah.
It was so good. They were so good. So that is my new favorite for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Okay. Regular coffee, or do you do the Christmas flavors?
All of it. Anything. Just give me coffee.
Caffeine and I'm still drinking.
Just give me coffee. I'll drink it black. I'll drink it with cream. I'll drink it with vanilla. I'll drink it with like peppermint mocha kind of stuff. Any of it.
Yeah.
As long as it's coffee based, you're good.
I don't care what kind of coffee it is. If someone brings me coffee, like, you're my favorite person. So.
I am not that generous with my coffee. Yeah, no. I have to have milk and sugar in it, but
yeah.
I still like old style. I fix it like my grandma fixed it for me when I was little.
Yeah.
I wanted to drink coffee with her and my grandpa so bad, every morning out on the porch. And so, of course, it was mostly milk with a little bit of coffee and sugar. And I still fixed it that way.
Yeah.
It was a habit,
Yeah.
That was grandma.
What about you with coffee?
I don't like minty things, and I really don't like just plain coffee. I'm more of like just a foo-foo coffee drinker. So, I do like the lattes and
We do sweetened condensed milk.
sweet condensed milk in it. Yeah, like it has to be super sweet to cover up the bitterness. So I just use it for the caffeine jolt, and not really for the taste of the coffee.
Correct, though. Do you know how to combat the bitterness of it?
I literally just read the other day you're supposed to use salt.
Salt,
yeah. And
That is
you can't use too few grounds either. You actually have to use more coffee than you think you need to use. Because over extraction.
So
yeah.
crazy. Science.
Science.
Yeah. I did not know that until my husband, like with the salt shaker in the bottom of his coffee cup before he put it, we have one of those Keurig.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I tried it like
He
that.
was salting the coffee cup, and I was like, just watching him, like, what the heck are you doing? And then he puts his cup under there to, brew the coffee, and I'm like, what do you put salt in your coffee cup for? And he's like, it won't be bitter. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. And I knew he did that with tea. Like when he makes tea.
Yeah.
So when he boils the water and he's got the tea bags in there, he'll salt the water.
Wow.
Okay, I've never heard it like that
We're gonna
before.
try this.
I've heard
We're
of
gonna
putting
try
salt
this.
in the actual ground so that when it brews through, it does that. But I've never heard of just putting it in the bottom
See,
of the
I heard
cup.
it just putting it in the cup. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because
Learn
if you
new things
use one of
every
the Keurig with if you use one of the Keuregs with the pods,
Yeah.
sprinkle it in the bottle of your cup before the coffee goes into it.
Experiment time.
I know. I love experiments.
Yeah, it's getting that right amount of salt though.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband's got it down to a science. He's like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, yeah. I don't know. I never knew that, and that was something I learned from him. So
Yeah, that is awesome.
you never know what you'll learn.
No,
right?
The more you know.
I know, right? That's top secret coffee. Discussions. All right, it's a wonder you don't have like a coffee sponsor.
Oh.
You need a coffee
I wouldn't
sponsor.
mind one.
If anyone's listening, any coffee,
All right, get the word out. AC Jones needs a coffee sponsor.
Casey Jones runs on coffee. Quite literally.
He's not picky about the kind.
No, I'm not.
Oh my gosh, y'all, it has been so much fun. All right.
Oh.
Are you going to do your Christmas song?
I mean, we could always do another Christmas song
Yeah.
if you want to. You good with that?
I'm good with whatever. Yeah.
Let's see here. We'll throw out another
What do you
Christmas
wanna
song.
do?
We had another
Tell me.
let's see here.
I didn't know what you had planned to do last, but I
Oh, not a problem. We get to it. Why don't we do you want to finish out with a Christmas song?
No, that's fine.
We'll switch it up a little bit here.
Yeah,
Have
absolutely.
yourself a merry little Christmas,
Yeah,
maybe?
sure.
Is that good?
That's perfectly.
Leave people with some Christmas Christmas feelings.
Just that one, or
Let's go. Let's do the yes.
okay. Do that. All right.
Yes. Yeah. Just a single time through with that.
Got it. Okay.
Cool. There you go.
Oops.
Oh.
I thought I was hitting the mute and I hit the camera button.
Oh, no worries.
Oops.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let the Yuletide gay. Next year all our troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. we'll be together if the fates allow. Until then, we'll have to battle through somehow and have ourselves a merry little Christmas. I'll be home for Christmas. You can plan on me. Please have snow and mistletoe and presents under the tree. Christmas Eve will find me where the love lies. I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. If only in my dreams.
Just beautiful.
Thank you so
Beautiful.
much. Thank you.
Thank you. And so many thank yous going on in the comments. Thank you, everybody that has joined in and watching. It has been as fun as I knew it would be. Thank you so much for doing this and bringing your sister, Brittany. So glad to have you on with us.
Thank you.
Yes, it has been wonderful. And let's definitely do it again. I love having you on. So yeah, and I wish you and your family very Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that good stuff, health, happiness, and
Thank you so much.
many, many blessings to come. I hope 2021 is so much better than what 2020 has been. I know for you, AC, you've not gotten out to tour and, play music like you want to. And, the lack of music, I think, has just affected everyone's morale. So I hope 2021 is better in that sense. And just for everybody to be more kind and lighthearted and not take everything so seriously and the things that they need to take seriously, yes, please take seriously. But the things that they don't, just, lighten up and be kind and be nice and smile. It takes less energy to be kind and smile.
Yeah, exactly.
To frown and be mean to people. So yeah,
Thank you so much for having us on today. I really appreciate it. It's great to get to share some gospel, some Christmas music as well. Obviously we play country music most of the time, but it's definitely something that's very near and dear to our hearts and is what builds our foundation. And so thank you for letting us share that with you today. And
you are so welcome. Thank you again. Thank you. And everybody that tuned in watching live with us, thank you for being with us. Appreciate it so much. Those of you that will watch the replay, I'm glad that you did. And I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.